Well, hello, hello, hello. Josh,
Hello.
a couple of weeks.
Say what?
It's been a couple of weeks.
It's been a couple of weeks.
What was
I know.
God?
Well, we're back in action. You're out of YouTube jail.
I'm out of YouTube jail. You, I heard, are 20 subscribers away from being able to live stream on your channel.
I am. Oh, and my likes came back. Remember how I was complaining? I was like, I had so many likes. Not so many compared to like what you would get. But I had 19 likes, and they all disappeared when we were on our call the other day. Reappeared.
And they all came back? They're all good?
They all.
Oh no. Oh no. Joshua is frozen. Joshua is frozen. Oh no, what is going on? What is going on? Joshua, you're slightly pixelated, but it looks like you're kind of back. Oh, I hope your internet didn't have a hiccup. We can't lose you again. Everyone's only here for you. They don't care about me. They only like you.
But yeah, I got my likes back. I'm really psyched. Thank God.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Well, everyone needs, the moral of this story is that everyone needs to make sure that they are subscribed to Joshua's YouTube channel. Because in the case that I get a strike, if you all subscribe to Joshua's YouTube channel, he gets over 1,000, then we can start live streaming simultaneously on his channel. And then if I get a strike for something stupid, that way we can stream on Joshua's channel. Yes. So I think that sounds like a good plan. So everyone's got to subscribe to Joshua's channel.
Please.
It's in the description below. Please, even if you don't like psychics, you watch him on here, so you obviously like him somewhat. Maybe you just like to look at him. That's fine. You can look at him on his channel too. Joshua, you know what I did today?
What'd you do?
I argued on Twitter all day long. All day. Because people are insane on Twitter. They are insane. Like, what is it about Twitter, do you think, that makes people like evil, vile versions of themselves?
I think it's, people are just keyboard warriors. These are probably the same people that, start trouble in like recess back in school. You know what I mean? Or even more so, because like there's no real threat, although I've noticed it's getting worse and worse. Like people are saying things. Like I remember just seeing this tweet from somebody being like, did you just threaten my daughter? And I'm like, oh my God, somebody's like threatening their kids and stuff. I mean, it's getting pretty bad.
Oh, I get threatened all the time on Twitter. I get threatened like every single day. And of course, Twitter never does anything. It's just, it is what it is. But no, people are insane. And it was like, so we were talking about like one of the topics you don't talk about. We were talking about abortion. And I have very distinct views on abortion that we're not going to talk about on this show. But what was really
we're not allowed to talk about that. Okay.
Well, we can. I just don't think it'll go. I mean, I think you and I probably agree on this issue, but I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I know exactly what will happen. But the point I want to make is I was having these just horrible people in my replies on Twitter. So of course I was not acting like the best version of myself either, because if you're going to be horrible in my replies, I'm going to give right back to you what you're giving to me. And so this was going on like all day. I was also trying to do like other stuff at the same time. So I was like multitasking. And then I had my call in locals, and you came to my locals last week. So you understand, like, my locals is awesome, isn't it?
They're wonderful people. It was such a pleasant time. Everybody was so great. I really enjoyed myself. Yeah.
Everyone was so awesome. And everyone was awesome today in my locals call. And it was funny because I posted halfway through our locals call on Twitter. I was like, we just had a conversation with 36 people about the same topic we've been talking about all day. And no one yelled at each other or called anyone a baby killer. How about that? And people were mad about that. They're like, well, you're obviously living in an echo chamber and you just have a community of people that just agree with everything you say. And you're probably a narcissist and you're going to have a bunch of sycophants. I was like, come on.
Oh man, you must have to. You should get stock in Advil. I would think that you would need it with all of this nonsense.
I don't. Well, you know what? It's like it's so absurd, because the thing that I find most funny about Twitter, and it's actually funny because the other day James Lindsay. Oh, maybe I can find it, Joshua. Oh, you would love. You would love this thing that James Lindsay posted so much. I have to find it. It's just gonna take me a second because you'll really appreciate this. And it just makes the point, and I have to scroll through all my abortion tweets to be able to find it. But it's a good tweet. So hang on. Where is it? Where is it? Lindsay, where are you, you sexy bastard? Oh my God. Oh, there he is. Found him. Found him.
Okay.
Okay, so here is what James Lindsay posted on Twitter, and this is just like the epitome of my experience on Twitter right here.
I mean, what an ego. Like, he needs that big of a plant.
Well, he says, people often believe I am mad on Twitter. Here's the reality. And I feel like this is always the reality for me as well. I feel like people always think I'm pissed off. And they even will say in my replies, they're like, you're obviously mad or you're so angry and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here like laughing at all of you because you're acting like insane, crazy people. So, and James Lindsay's wife also promised apparently to sell more embarrassing photos of him. So that's something we can look forward to as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Right
Yay.
on.
But my point was,
Mhm.
Twitter makes people have like inaccurate perceptions of other people. And I think it's because
Right.
a lot of people go onto Twitter and they get really, really angry. And so they
Mhm.
assume everyone else is angry too.
Right. I think that makes sense.
All right.
It brings out the worst in people.
It does bring out the worst in people, but today we're going to bring out the best in people, aren't we, Joshua?
The best and the brightest.
We hope so. And we've already got some super chats coming in, so let's get into it, guys. Welcome to Nothing Remotely Controversial. This is a show that Joshua and I do every Tuesday night at 9:30, unless I have a YouTube strike, and then we do not do it because we can't. That's all right. Where I talk about the news and whatever I find interesting, and Joshua, who is a professional psychic, uses his psychic and tarot card and astrology prowess to help us peer beneath the surface and tell us what's really going on. And if you want to ask us a question or ask Joshua to psychic something, you got to send us in a super chat with your question. Now, there's a couple rules, and there are additional rules now, Joshua, about the super chat. So the first rule with the super chats and things that we're going to ask Joshua to psychic is keep it a high level question, like, did Anthony Fauci lie to Congress about funding the Wuhan lab? Not a low level question like, should I move to Los Angeles? Which, of course, the answer is no, because California is a hellscape, which sucks. And Gavin Newsom's probably going to win recall, but we will probably psychic that tonight, too. So keep it a high level question, guys. It's going to be interesting to everyone. Rule number 2. Now, I don't want to institute this rule, but YouTube is making me institute this rule. So, guys, no questions about vaccines, no questions about COVID. If you send in a question, I will try to find a way to ask it. But honestly, I just got a stupid strike on my YouTube channel for something vaccine related. And it's not my fault that YouTube is censoring people talking about anything related to vaccines. So I'm just asking you guys to be nice. Don't ask questions about vaccines. Okay?
Yeah. I think that's a good rule of thumb. You know,
it's not that we don't want to answer them. It's that we can't. My hands are tied. I don't want to lose another 2 weeks on YouTube. I just got rid of another strike, so I'm down to 1 strike on my channel. I don't want a second strike because then I would have to live with that shit through November. So no vaccine questions. I am sorry.
I don't think we should mention the V word at all.
The V word?
V word. Well, I'm not even going to say it. I don't want anything bad to happen.
Just in case, I suppose that's probably a good rule of thumb.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's
be better safe than sorry. That's what I always say.
Better safe than sorry, indeed. And guys, mount that like button if you haven't already. Let's get into it. Armani V says, "What is Biden's 6 point?" Here we go.
We're off to a great start.
Armani V sent this in before we made the rule, but like, okay. I think that these are okay. Okay, YouTube, we are not giving medical advice. He is a psychic. People asking questions about the vaccine should contact the CDC. What is Biden's 6-point COVID announcement on Thursday going to be? Will it unveil federal vaccine passport / vaccine fly requirements to fly domestically? Okay, I think we're safe on this one because we're psychicking a future event. Joshua.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to just point to the second bit of the question. Will he... Oops, hold on.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no. Will he unveil federal domestically? Okay, Carlin, do me a favor. Tell me when I should stop shuffling on the second bit about the V requirements to fly domestically.
Stop.
Okay. So will there be V requirements Ace of Wands, the Star.
V like V for Vendetta.
V for
which
Vendetta.
is a perfect analogy for this entire situation.
Indeed. I think that he's going to there's going to be like a balance of things. I don't think it's going to be it's going to be bold, but there's going to be freedom that's attached to it. And then with 2 of discs, there's going to be a balance of things. So I don't think it's going to be like, these aren't cards that look at unnecessary restrictions. I'd be very surprised if he's like, you're going to need to be V'd in order to fly. I'd be surprised with the Star card, because the Star is all about freedom. I think there'll be some kind of balance, though.
Joshua, did you hear that there are all these chants F Biden everywhere at all these events? People are not happy with Biden. His approval rating is plummeting.
I heard. Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think it's awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting. I think, yeah, a lot of people are not really happy with the whole Afghanistan thing, and rightfully so, you know?
I think very rightfully so. I hope we get some questions about that. But we'll see. Armani V also says, will Chris Silwa, I don't know how to pronounce, how would you pronounce that, Joshua? I don't know. I have no. Will Chris become the New York City mayor this fall?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Will Chris become the mayor this fall? Chris become. And someone to stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Let's see. Death, Ace of Pentacles, Temperance. I would say he has a good shot. However, I think with the Death card, I would say that not necessarily this fall. I think that it's going to be later if he does, just because we get the Death card, which is like some kind of ending. But with the Ace of Pentacles alongside Temperance, there's a lot of really good luck around him. But I think with the Death card, I think that 2 things: either something catastrophic or some kind of ending would have to happen first, or it's a matter of like, this time's no bueno, and then it's going to be the next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. John Clark wants to know, will the U.S. dollar and the economy go bust before next year's midterm elections? This is a good question.
Very good question. The U.S. dollar and the economy go bust. And tell me when I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop. Oh, did you drop your whole deck?
Not my whole deck, just all right. Give me just
all right.
Let's do it one more time. Will the U.S. dollar and the economy go bust before next year's midterm elections? And tell me when I should stop shuffling.
Stop.
Okay. Ace of Cups, 4 of Wands. I would not say so. I don't think so. I think that I think there's going to be a lot of, with blessings with the Ace of Cups. This is about flow, so it's not an economy going bust. There's also going to be, I think, some kind of like relief. And with the High Priestess, there's things are subject to change, but I wouldn't say it's going to go bust before next year's midterms. No.
Excellent. Joshua, apparently a whole bunch of people subscribe to your YouTube channel, so hopefully you're over 1,000 subscribers now. That would be exciting.
That would be super exciting.
Indeed.
That'd be great. Thank you, everybody. I do appreciate it. Awesome.
All right. George Andre Veloso Nunez says, I knew something was wrong because the show wasn't on last week. I went to locals, which I had already joined and started supporting since last week. Thank you, George Andre Veloso Nunez. I really do appreciate that. And actually, we have a super chat that came in from you last time that we didn't get to. And because you started supporting me on locals, I'm just going to go back and look at the super chat now. And actually, it wasn't really so much a question as much as a statement. The 10 of Swords means politicians will decide we need 10 shots of the vaccine before we can move on. So thank you for your support in locals. I definitely do appreciate it. Locals is Joshua, have you started your locals community yet?
No, I have been very, very busy. Unfortunately, I haven't even logged on. So I know it's bad. It's really bad. But I expect things to slow down soon. So hopefully by end of this week, if not next week, I will get back in the race.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
guys, locals is the place to be because if I get banned on YouTube for something stupid, I'll be able to keep in contact. Shannon says, yay, welcome back. Thank you, Shannon. Charmed 3SX. Oh, yes, Afghanistan. We made it, Joshua. Welcome back. Missed you both. You didn't miss me. I know. It's all Joshua. WTF is going on? Will all Americans make it out of Afghanistan? Was this an international cluster F? So I guess we'll take the first one first. Will all Americans make it out of Afghanistan?
And tell me when I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
High Priestess, Knight of Discs, Eight of Swords. I would say no, not all, unfortunately.
Wow. Show that card again, Joshua. I just want to emphasize how bad that. Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good card for that question.
No.
All right.
No.
Was this the major international foobar that we all believe it is? Or maybe perhaps a better question.
Mm-hmm.
How is the international community receiving this information that about Afghanistan and what happened?
And tell me when I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Really?
I mean, the wealth card comes up. So I think that overall, like I was expecting it to be a matter of like they think that we're idiots.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But with the wealth card, they think that there's sort of a method to the madness, that there's some kind of like traditional thing going on, and that it's part of the expansion. It's part of the expansion of the US and moving beyond what we were before. And then with Ace of Swords, I think that, you know, they may have seen it as a solution to a problem. You know, I think overall, I think the consensus might be like there was no easy way out. You know what I mean? So I think that even though we can, you know, play Monday morning quarterback, maybe it's a matter of, you know, there are some things that we're not really seeing, and international powers that be see them better than we do.
Okay, so Jaya in the chat has just pointed out to me that I don't know how to read, and apparently you don't either because this was right in front of us. Was this an intentional cluster F? Did they? Was this intended? Thank you, Jaya, for correcting me because sometimes I don't know how to read.
Sorry about that.
It's really Joshua's fault. He didn't correct me. Joshua's supposed to watch me for. Joshua, you're the copy editor. You're supposed to catch that. I'm a horrible proofreader. You are a much better proofreader than I am.
You've been reading since you were 4 years old. You read before you even got to school.
That doesn't mean I'm a good proofreader. I have always been a horrible speller. I have always been in the bottom in terms of spelling.
Okay.
Always. I was in the 40th percentile for spelling when I was in elementary school. It was nothing.
Really? I don't think it's surprised.
Oh God, I'm awful at spelling. I'm awful at it. I'm an awful proofreader. It's bad. I have many strengths. That is not one of them.
Okay, so we want to know if it was intentional.
If it was intentional.
Meaning, can you elaborate on that, Carlin?
Did they intend to leave behind $80 billion of equipment and have the Taliban take over the country?
Got it. And tell me when I should stop shuffling.
Stop. People in the chat are so demanding. You guys are so demanding. God, relax.
I don't think this was an intentional thing. I think with the
think it
fear
was
of
either.
failure, I think that they were, I think that it was a matter of they felt they needed to do something and they didn't know what they should have done. They thought they were being prudent, and then it wound up going sideways. This doesn't show that there's like malicious intent or there being an intent to deceive, not with these cards.
Steph in the chat says bad spelling is a sign of dyslexia can be. I actually wouldn't be surprised if I had like just like a smidge of dyslexia because I read things backwards like all the time. Even when I'm doing like my videos, I read things backwards all the time and I have to stop and like correct myself. I wouldn't be surprised actually. I don't think I do because I've always been a good reader, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Joshua,
you want to do cards on it? Are you?
Do I have dyslexia? Am I dyslexic? No, we should not be using cards for that. Nico L says, will CRO coin be worth $2 by the end of 2023? Also, miss you guys. Love the show. We are not giving financial advice. Joshua is a psychic. This is not advice that you should buy things on. Joshua, will CRO coin be worth $2 by the end of 2023?
Let's see. And tell me when I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Let's see. No, absolutely not.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
And you don't want to know why?
Oh, heartbreak. No, wah, wah. Oh, God. These are horrible cards. What was the last one?
Well, the middle one was Queen of Swords.
Oh, that's well. But the other two.
I think that there's a way of them fine tuning it so they can, get it to that point. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Shannon says, Josh, how do you feel about using asteroid? I don't know what that means, but you do. In astrology, if not, why would you use Pluto even when Eris, is that what it is? Is larger than Pluto?
Well, I still believe Pluto is definitely a planet. If you've ever gone through a Pluto return, you would know that it is indeed a planet. So I tend to not use many asteroids. I certainly don't use Eris. But yeah, I think Pluto, I've seen people go through Pluto returns and transits to Pluto, and they mean business.
I have Pluto in my first house. It's a fucking planet.
You do. You have Pluto as your first planet in your chart.
My first gumball.
Your first gumball. Yeah. Yeah. And Pluto means business. Yeah. So yeah, I will.
I'm such an uppity bitch because I have Pluto in my first house.
I may get more into the asteroids, and if I do, I'll definitely pay more attention to Eris, Shannon. So thank you for your question.
All right. Let's see. Moving on. DK Me says, will there be a unifying shift in awareness? And if so, is there a time frame?
Unifying shift in awareness.
Yes.
Okay. Globally.
Sure.
Let's see. And tell me when I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Yeah, I think there's definitely more knowledge that's going around with the Hermit card, and this is really apropos to what's going on now, it being Virgo season and the Hermit ruling the sign of Virgo. So people are going on a search for deeper meaning. People are also becoming much more intelligent, and they're reading more, and they're becoming more informed. And with the Chariot, though, people are there's going to be a certain level of like hard control. People are going to have certain boundaries. There's always going to be some people that don't want to be enlightened. You can't like drag somebody kicking and screaming into enlightenment. So I think that there will be more people who are, but there'll always be a portion of society who is not up for that, not up for enlightenment. Yeah. But I think we're heading in a better direction. That's for sure.
We better be. The aliens.
Meditate, and you'll solve, the more, even if like we all here in this show tonight start meditating only 15 minutes a day, I'm telling you that will have wonderful repercussions.
Joshua, what would you say to people who say, I don't want to meditate. Meditation is hard. I can't meditate.
I would try it. There's like 15-minute meditations by Abraham Hicks. There's an app for Abraham Hicks. I would go online, just Abraham Hicks Abraham Hicks meditation, and you'll be able to do it's 15 minutes, and you might want to listen to it first. But there's even shorter meditations. Just listen to it first and see how it feels. And essentially the point of meditation is to quiet your mind and release resistance, and then you allow your higher self to come through, which will essentially tell you that there's nothing to worry about, that everything is fine, which then, due to law of attraction, becomes an apparency. There isn't anything to worry about because you've quieted the mind. You're not resisting negative things, and therefore you don't get negative things in your life. I mean, it really is the secret to so much. So I just really try it. It's worth it. It's worth the growing pains.
And if you don't like Abraham Hicks, there are many other meditations out there. Go on Spotify. There are free guided meditations on Spotify. There are apps you can download. Don't get 10% happier that I don't trust them at all. But like Calm is okay. There are lots of apps. There's YouTube. You guys can find guided meditations. You can even meditate. You don't even need to be sitting meditate. You can meditate laying down. You can meditate walking. Like there's all sorts of different meditations you can do. Right.
And you can even focus on a fan. Absolutely. Right. Like the sound of a fan or an air conditioner, or even like a dripping faucet, anything that gets you out of your head and focuses on that, and just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, just to stop your thinking, because our minds are what get us in trouble.
And if a thought comes in, just like shoo it out, or like some people like hang it on a tree, or you can kick it like a ball, or like all these other things.
Just parry it away. Parry.
Multi-dryder says, will there be more Faucism and masturbation this fall? Also, in alternate timeline of Songbird, would there be massive compliance or civil disobedience? I don't know what alternate timeline of Songbird means. What does that mean? Multi-dryder, what does that mean? Alternate timeline of Songbird?
Well, let's see. The first part of the question.
Will there be more masturbation this fall?
Let's see. And tell me when to stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little bit.
Oh my god! I hate that card.
But you got the Magician card.
Oh.
And then you got the Prudence card. So I think they'll be prudent, but I do think that we all collectively can get over this faster. And I think it really is all about, living our best lives. Think of it. I'll use my instance. So like on this side of the stick, let's say we have like sickness and wanting to die, right? And COVID. And then on this side of the stick, we have like living your best life and being really, really happy. If you can stay on this side of the stick, and we all can do this, then there's going to be no need. So like essentially like wanting to enjoy yourself and wanting to have vitality and expressing your vitality and expressing your life is going to keep you well and happy. So the more we can all be happy, the more we can get over the masturbation. Yeah.
Excellent. Multi-dryder has chatted in a clarification. It says Songbird is a movie where COVID mutates into COVID-23 and results in more authoritarian restrictions. Is it really? Is that a real thing? They made a movie about that? Oh my god. So in the alternate timeline of this movie, in an eventuality where COVID morphs into some sort of other super virus, will there be compliance or civil disobedience? I don't know how best to psychic this. What do you think?
I don't know what Songbird is.
It's a movie. We just explained it. Songbird is a movie where COVID mutates into COVID-23 and results in a more authoritarian restrictions.
Okay, with massive oh, I see. Okay, so if there's a morphing of this, will there be massive compliance or civil disobedience?
Yes.
Got it. That's a really good question.
It is.
And tell me when I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop. Apparently Demi Moore is in that movie. How old is she now? She's getting up there. My God.
She is, and she's still gorgeous. I would say that we're not going to have to worry about that.
No.
At all, because we have such beautiful cards: the Love card, Page of Cups, Four of Wands, Freedom. So I don't see it being either, because I don't think it's going to morph into 23. You know what I'm saying? So
all right.
It's good things. Yeah.
I have a question. So there has been like massive civil disobedience in France and like in some other, but like France is like really the big one. There's been like a lot of like protests and all this stuff. Are the protests in France actually going to result in anything?
Let's see. Will the protests in France result in... And tell me I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Let's see. Cool. Oh, wow. Interesting. So there's Knight of Swords, right? And there's definitely like big action that's being like, taken. But the Fool would indicate there's some kind of unknown element at work. And with Five of Discs, there's shenanigans. They're not, there's other things that are at play. There's reasons behind what they're doing. So I would say
really?
no.
There are other reasons besides COVID that they're implementing these authoritarian restrictions? I had no idea, Joshua.
I know. It's so shocking.
It is incredibly shocking.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to have much of an effect, because there are bigger things that they are concerned about than people in the streets protesting. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. All right, Joshua, are you ready?
Ready.
We have a question specifically for you. Kind of. Not really. Kind of.
Okay.
Will Newsom get successfully recalled? Next week is the week, Joshua. 1 week from today, we're going to find out.
I'm probably not going to see what I've been seeing for the past, 9 months. Has it been?
We're going to see. I still think Newsom's not going to get recalled, but...
Yeah, I do not think he's going to get recalled. But let's see what the cards have to say. Maybe there's some hope.
Maybe there's new information. I mean, Dave Rubin is back. He's out campaigning for Larry Elder. Maybe Dave Rubin will swing this whole thing Larry Elder's way. Who knows?
It could be. Okay, so...
Will Newsom get successfully recalled?
We're going to have to phrase it as, what will be the fate of Newsom?
What will be the fate of Gavin Newsom?
With the recall.
With the recall.
And I'm going to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Let's see. Fate. Told ya. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get recalled. I don't think it's going to happen.
Why? Explain. This is like your final prediction before the big day.
Yeah, we got Queen of Cups. So
well, he's a Queen of Cups if there ever was one.
This is really, in a lot of respects, it's a matter of like emotionally, there's definitely a lot of people that, he feels that care about him, that love him, that, really are behind him. And then we get Victory, which is certainly not a recall card. And then we do have Three of Swords. I mean, can you imagine like so many people wanting you out? So, yeah, I mean, it's humiliating. I think he'll stay, but I think it'll be a bittersweet victory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just want to point out, like, Joshua has been incredibly consistent on this question. We've asked this question like 5 or 6 times now, right?
Right.
And you've said no every single time.
He's not going anywhere.
Like, there's been no wishy-washy.
No.
Plus, they're going to cheat. They're absolutely... Can you psychic if the Democrats are going to cheat in California?
With the recall?
Yes. Are the Democrats going to cheat in the recall election?
And I'm going to stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Ace of Swords, the Magician, 5 of Wands.
I'm going to say that's a yes. They're going to cheat. The Magician, they're going to cheat.
I think they're definitely going to be working very, very hard to get things to go their way. I think that with the Ace of Swords, this is a solution to a problem. I think really what I'm getting is that if things don't look to be going their way, which I think that they expect them to go their way, even without shenanigans, then they will definitely.
Then they'll cheat.
Right. Yes. Definitely.
They'll have the final solution. If the count isn't going their way, they're going to magically, new ballots are going to appear.
Oh, look at this.
You don't want to know why? Because you can mail your fucking ballot in on the day of the election. So they can simply create this scenario with like, oh, we're still counting ballots.
You can print them out and there's like holes in the envelope. Did you see the envelopes?
Yeah, they're going to cheat. They're going to cheat.
So ridiculous.
Gavin Newsom is safe. Final prediction. And I'm clipping this for next week. Just to be, so hopefully we don't look like idiots, because I've been saying he's going to stay for months. Okay. Charmed 3XS wants to know, will this administration recognize the new Afghan government giving legitimacy to terrorists? So as of yet, the Biden administration has not recognized, I don't believe, who the rightful government is in Afghanistan. And there is still like a resistance government there because the president fled the country, but the vice president stayed and was elevated to like, I guess, president or whatever. But will the Biden administration ultimately recognize the Taliban as the government of Afghanistan?
Will our administration, you mean?
Yes.
Wow. That would be a big deal, no?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, they created the problem, so, they're going to have to address it at some point.
Will they eventually recognize the Taliban as being the
rightful government of Afghanistan?
Holy crap.
Wasting 20 years of our time and money and resources and American lives.
And I'm going to stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to try to make it go back to the past and how it had been previous. And with the Ace of Cups, I think there's some good stuff that's going on there. So I think they're going to, I think that the U.S. has the wherewithal to repair this, believe it or not.
Well, here's hoping. Here's hoping. Shannon, pro tip from Shannon, FYI, Josh's YouTube channel is Joshua the Psychic. It appears that channel Joshua MacGuire is someone else. Joshua, do you have an impersonator?
I know.
Like my impersonator on Twitter?
No, I'm not that famous to have an impersonator.
Maybe we'll get you an impersonator of your very own someday.
No, that's okay. I'm good.
So everyone should go subscribe to Joshua's YouTube channel. The link is in the description below. So we can live stream on Joshua's channel if anything happens. Oh, Patrice has an interesting question.
Ooh.
Are the occurrence of dark portals increasing?
Dark portals? Will you school me, Carlin, on this?
I don't know. Patrice, what are dark portals? What do you mean by dark portals? What do you think she means? Like portals to hell? I'm thinking maybe
dark black holes. Is she talking about black holes?
I don't know that I think if she meant black holes, she would say black holes. I'm thinking that she means like portals to hell or something like that.
Twitter. Go www.twitter.com.
We have to wait because there's a delay between when we talk and when the chat sees it. So, Patrice, what do you mean by dark portals? Or anyone else in the chat. Someone could just make something up and attribute it to Patrice. Portals to other dimensions, says Elizabeth. I like I said, like portals to hell, portals to another dimension. Like have you seen these shows where there's like they go to like a haunted hotel or something and there's like a portal in the basement to another dimension and demons come through the portal and they possess guests in the middle of the night? That's kind of like what I'm thinking about when I hear dark portals.
Well, I should definitely not go to one of those hotels. Okay. That doesn't sound like very fun.
Patrice says black holes or portals spewing darkness.
Oh, okay.
Portals spewing darkness, portals to hell, demonic portals. We ask the important questions on nothing remotely controversial.
Just don't say Beetlejuice 3 times. That's the best advice I can give you. Let's see. Portal. And tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Let's see. Nah, I don't think dark portals are increasing. Three of Wands is established strength and power. So this is, if you want to be sucked into a dark hole or portal, you can use your imagination and get there, but I don't think otherwise that they're increasing. I think that again, I think we create our own reality. So if you're creating a reality in which it, for whatever reason, it might serve you to be pulled into a dark hole or portal, then you'll create it. But I think otherwise, yeah, I don't think that they're increasing.
So do you believe that dark portals exist, like generally? Or do you think people make this stuff up?
I think that when you make stuff up, it can become real. Do you know what I mean? So I think that if enough energy is put towards something, it becomes something that people believe in. You know what I mean? So you can, focus on that and you can convince somebody of it, and then before you know it. But no, I don't think in the whole there's in the whole I don't think in the whole thing there's like an actual portal or portals. I think we create that stuff. Yeah.
All right. Awesome Human says, pray for my Afghan colleague and students trapped in Afghanistan. We certainly will. Joshua, can we look at the fate of the people in Afghanistan?
Yeah.
See what's
Let's
going to
do that.
happen?
And tell me when I should stop shuffling.
Stop.
Let's see. Oh boy. So there's going to be some people that are, saved and rescued with Knight of Wands. I think there's going to be this big like swoop that's going to like take care of a whole bunch. But with the High Priestess, there are some people that are hidden or not able to be seen. And then with Five of Swords, I think it's, it's very probable that there's like a hostage situations or things that are going
Very
on.
literally right now, yes.
Yeah, and with Five of Swords, there's things that are happening that are keeping people from being found. But there will be some people that are saved. But again, there are some people that are in hiding. I think they're like underneath something, like just obscured and hidden, and for very good reason. I think that what I'm getting with the Five of Swords is they're going to be looking at these hostages, as a bargaining chip in the future. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So Glenn Beck, did you hear about this? Glenn Beck raised like $25 million in like a couple days and has
Wow.
like on his like with his organization has been chartering flights out of Afghanistan. And they chartered a whole bunch of flights out of Afghanistan when the US government did not step up. And I heard that they had more flights that were like ready to go and the Taliban won't let them leave.
Wow.
So that's fun. But good for
Yeah.
Glenn Beck is a hero, man. Like Glenn Beck, what a surprise Glenn Beck turned out to be. Honestly, I always like my father always hated Glenn Beck growing up. I always heard about like what an asshole Glenn Beck was. Turned out to be like the best guy in the world. Hero.
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You never
No
know.
whammies, no whammies. Did you see that? That was really cute.
Mm-hmm.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
AM says the literary crisis for California kids is coming to light because of the recall. Do you see any changes on that front over the next 5 years for literacy in California?
Okay, meaning
Meaning
kids.
children can't read because they're teaching them all sorts of woke nonsense.
Well, also I think with masks, it's going to be hard to enunciate the words, right?
That is a really good point. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would assume that math would also play a role here.
Yeah. So the state of literacy for California kids over the next 5 years. Yeah.
Over the next 5 years, yes.
And tell me when to stop shuffling on that.
Stop.
Hierophant, pleasure, magician. No, I think they're going to be okay. I think that like with the Hierophant, like they know that like something has to be done. And then with the pleasure card, this is actually really good. I think they might be going back to like old methods of teaching, reading. I think with the magician card, I think they're going to, make it a big priority. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about the state of literacy for California kids over the next 5 years. I think it's improving.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. And Nat D has our last question for now, and then maybe I have some of my own that we can talk about. Will Netflix go bankrupt? They suck.
The future of Netflix. What is in store? The fate of them, right?
What is the future of Netflix?
And tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Oh. Interesting.
Oh, yeah?
They do have established power, but there is some kind of disappointment that is ahead for them. So I do think that they're not doing great, but their prudence is going to get them in line. I get them doing like an offshoot. It might be like a Netflix too, or they're going to do something to like rebrand themselves, but there is a little bit of disappointment. I don't know if they're going to go bankrupt, but I don't think that they're going to be excelling. Certainly not as much as they had before.
All right.
But they'll change something and, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, Joshua, I have a couple questions of my own.
Ooh, okay.
So, Joe Rogan got COVID.
Uh-huh.
And got a metric F ton of grief for one specific medication that he took that I'm not going to say on YouTube, but it starts with an I, and you guys all know what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to be extra cautious. And he basically, like, a video came out of him today basically saying, like all these media outlets were saying he's taking a horse dewormer, blah, 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 blah. He basically came out today and said, WTF, I got this from a doctor. And so he said, should I sue CNN? So my question is, will Joe Rogan sue CNN for spreading nonsense?
Let's see.
Yes, Nat D, it's iodine. Yes, that's the I word that I'm looking for. Yes.
Oops.
Joe Rogan says, do I have to sue CNN? They're making shit up. I literally got it from a doctor. The horse dewormer medication.
So will Joe sue CNN?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
I doubt it. No.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Knight of Disc, which is, about, prudence and being practical. I mean, CNN, as successful as Joe is, he's not as successful as CNN. Like in terms of money, lawyers, right? And 10 of Cups, it's like, the finale, happily ever after. And with King of Cups, King of Cups is not the suing type. So no, I don't think that he's going to. I think he was just saying
he's just being blustery, essentially.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that he's defending himself, and everybody's gonna. A lot of people have been saying lately, "Do I need to sue this person?" Because everything's being taken out of context. Mm-hmm. But no, I don't think that he will.
All right, question number 2. Mm-hmm. Trump released an ad. Oh, we gotta have a super chat. Remember, Netflix was a postal video rental before a streaming service. These guys know how to reinvent themselves regardless of anything else. I do actually remember when Netflix was a postal rental service.
I do too. I also remember Blockbuster Video.
Back in the day. I actually met a guy. I met a guy at the Joe Dispenza week-long workshop in Santa Fe that I went to, which, your face just went like... But... He was working for Netflix's like DVD rental when they were sunsetting it.
Isn't that funny? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember that. I remember walking around the video store like you would a library trying to get videos. Do you remember that, Carlin?
I do. I remember when you had to return the video the next day instead of getting the like week-long rental that like Blockbuster went to at some point.
Yeah, and I remember the stickers on it that said "Be kind, rewind."
Yes, exactly. Well, we're old. We're old. We're old. Andrea, I have other questions too, but Andrea L says, after Joe Rogan's successful treatment, will other doctors get pressure to start prescribing medications that we can't talk about? That we can't talk about because YouTube sucks.
And I'm going to stop shuffling on Andrea's question.
Stop.
Let's see.
Nuclear, don't think I haven't seen you talking shit about me in other chats, dude. You're like one step away from getting blocked again. You better be on your best behavior. Separate from you, obviously.
So justice comes up. So I think there's some kind of balance with the Tower card. I think there's definitely a lot of fear against that happening. And with 5 of discs, I think the pressure would be on the side of keeping things more under wraps, to be honest.
All right. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Trump released a video ad in response to Biden's epic F-up in Afghanistan, right? And it was an awesome ad. Did you see this video?
I did not see this video.
Oh, dude, it was like the best ad ever, except like, why is Trump releasing an ad? What is Trump doing? Is Trump running for president? Why else would he be releasing an ad? Is Donald Trump running for president?
And tell me I should stop shuffling on that.
Stop. It's all forgiven, Nuclear. Just don't look. I'm a ninja, man. I'm everywhere. I see everything. I may not always talk about it. I see everything. Don't think I don't pay attention.
I think there with the swiftness card, there's definitely a lot of like thoughts going on around it. But with 7 of Cups, this card, it's very much in the air. It's like pie in the sky. Well, I couldn't. He's like in that Gemini phase. Like, who knows? I might decide to buy a movie theater or whatever. You know what I mean? There will be like some success ahead for him, but I don't think that he's made it clearly defined as to what that is. So I would say that there's other opportunities that he's looking at besides president that are probably more realistic.
I just don't know why Trump would release that ad. Trump also did like a response speech to like Biden's speeches, and Trump looks so presidential. Trump's been losing weight. Have you seen Trump lately?
I have not seen Trump lately.
Trump has lost weight. He has had like a chemical peel or something. Trump looks 10 years younger than when he left office. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. Let me see if I can find it. Trump losing weight. I don't know what to Google. To find this picture. Oh, here it is. Hang on. Check this out. Trump apparently has lost 15 pounds. Trump is looking good, Joshua. Look at this. Hang on. Share screen. Trump is looking spry.
Wow.
He's good, right?
Handsome. Look at that jawline. And that you're right. Well, I mean, in all fairness, I think that like being president really it takes a toll on you. Even him, although I think he fared better than most of our other presidents.
Yeah, he definitely did. Everyone else looked older. All right, I have one more question. Mm-hmm. Will Joe Biden make it through this term, or will he resign in disgrace or be otherwise removed?
Be otherwise removed? How would you...
Well,
What do you mean exactly?
They could use the 25th Amendment. He's not going to be impeached because Mitch McConnell's a pussy. But they could use the 25th Amendment. It's getting late. It's 10:30. I can say it.
Let's see. So, will Biden survive all 4 years, right?
Yes. Will Biden survive all 4 years?
And so I'm going to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Ooh.
And you've consistently said that Biden would survive all 4 years, so I want an update.
You're right. I think that he'll survive, but I think there's going to be like a convalescence of sorts. Three of Swords comes up. So I think that he's, and then with Nine of Swords, and then with Ace of Swords. I mean, a lot of swords going on here. So I wouldn't say that he's going. I get there being more of something like a convalescence or like, more time in the bunker.
He's gonna go take a vacation. He's gonna go play some golf.
I mean, does that all anyway, right? I think with Three of Swords, though, there's definitely a lot of stress, and I think that the probabilities, I think, before are very, very clear that like he's going to last all 4 years, the whole term. However, I think with the stress that's going on with him with Three of Swords and then Nine of Swords, I mean, that kind of mental stress is going to wreak havoc on the body. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that there's probably going to be a little bit of time within the next, it'll be what, 3 years? When he's supposed to, over the next 3 years, there'll be a hiatus or sabbatical, some kind of convalescence is my guess. Some kind of recovery, maybe like an operation, some kind of time away is my guess.
George Andre Veloso Nunez says, in reference to Trump, I believe he's not running for president. He might be running in 2022 and is waiting until the last second to get maximum effect. Well, we'll see about that. Okay, Joshua, I lied. I have one more question.
Okay, go for it.
Will Kamala Harris ever be president?
And tell me when to stop shuffling. I'm sorry, that was a nervous laugh.
Did you have a cackle?
Oh, repeat the question.
Will Kamala Harris ever be president?
And tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Justice. I certainly don't think that she wants it. So the Justice card comes up. This is about balance and some kind of decision. Then we get 10 of Wands, right? So if like things get really, really, really like a big pressure with the Judgment card, there might be like a stepping in. I keep getting that there's going to be a stepping in that she may have to do between now and the end of his term. I don't think that means that
take over temporarily.
That's what I get. Yeah. Currently, the way things are right now, I think around Biden, I think there's a lot of pressure, a lot of mental strife that's around him. And if he doesn't get his brain in the right space, and if he doesn't start thinking in the right way and start taking care of himself in the right way, there is going to be, a timeout for him. And she will step in, I think, on a temporary basis. But I don't think that she wants it. I don't think that she wants to be president at all. No. I think that she got her taste. She gets out of this. She writes books. She does a talk show for the rest of her life. She's set. She doesn't need this nonsense. Yeah.
Excellent. Good news for all of us.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for this week. Joshua, do you have any final messages for people about this week?
Yeah. Well, we're under the new moon in Virgo cycle. We had a new moon yesterday. So over the next 2 weeks, try to track new things into your life, like new routines for exercise and work and your diet. It's about really creating a real feel-good lifestyle and really doing all the right things. It's like this back-to-school energy. So take super good care of yourself over the next 2 weeks and establish those new routines because it's very important to do so under Virgo season. Yeah.
Awesome. And Reagan says, subscribe to Joshua's channel, obviously. And also just double check, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you would like to be. And please mount that like button on the way out the door. Joshua and I do this show every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, unless something goes horribly wrong.
Yes.
But join my locals just in case, and then we can tell you if something goes horribly wrong. All right, guys, that's all we have for tonight. Have a good one. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye.